friends, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. I thought I would throw together a few little clips and create a mini vlog for moving day. I already have a clip of having to say goodbye to the cat, and that is very sad. Hello friends, how are you today? I am back with a real-time update on the move. I have just finished, I'm all sweaty because I just finished putting all of my stuff in the car, and the cat has been here the whole night as usual, and usually he leaves during the day after I give him his food and pet him for at least 15 minutes, and he hasn't left. He followed Clementine and I on our walk and for quite some time, and then he is never here when we get back. He's never here when I get back, but he was here and he just sat on the wall and watched me move my stuff. So this is not fun. The rest of it is, this is really crappy, but I just wanted to show you how cute the little man's. He's a cute little man's. And I wish I could take him with me, but I cannot at this time. So hopefully I'll be able to come back and get him maybe. That would be really cool. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the little kitty. Very sad. So to lighten things up, I just thought I'd give you a little Air BnB tour. This was the nicest place that I've stayed by far. The place that I'm on my way to doesn't have a kitchen. I had to sacrifice tons of amenities for location. But it is what it is. So I don't know. I guess I'm back to my camping stove. This place was really cool. It had 2 bedrooms. Clementine liked to hang out in this one during the day while I was at the gym. She liked to lay under the bed on the floor. And then this was the master bedroom. And it's really, really nice. I didn't know it had 2 bedrooms, which is really cool. And then just the quick, it's just, oops, you can't even see it, but the bathroom. My favorite part was the kitchen, and here it is. It was really cool, and I hope to get back to a kitchen very soon. And that is it for this clip now. It's a really cute house. Oh, actually, let me show you. This is where I filmed. Oops. Yep, this is where I filmed my videos right there. I thought that was a really cool backdrop with this picture, and it was a lot of fun. Next, I'm going to show you how I packed up all my stuff into the back of my car. This is similar to how I did it when I lived in my car. But this is a lot better because I don't have to live in my car. Hello. All right, so I am putting the last of the stuff into the car. I hope this is not too shaky. I bet you it is. Let me try and hold this. And, oops, I just wanted to show you guys how I stuffed it all in there. And that is it. It's just a bunch of, I bought a bunch of, what do they call it? A bunch of duffel bags that are like 6 feet long. And I just filled them up with everything. It took 3 6-foot long duffel bags and then a couple of just cooler bags for my shoes and stuff. And that is all my earthly possessions. The rest of it is food related, and that will fit somewhere in there. And that is it. Next, what am I going to show you? I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, and I'm back once again. And guess what? Whoops, sorry. Look it. He's still here. He still didn't leave. I want to take him with me. I really hope I can come back and get this cat, guys. Hello friends, I am back again. So I have another update on the cat. I felt so bad that I decided to try and let him come inside just to see what he would do. I closed most of the doors except for one of the rooms, and I let him come inside, and he looked around for a little while, and then he panicked and he ran for the door. So I don't know if he would even want to be an inside cat, but I know that he didn't necessarily want to stay inside. That could just be that he's not used to the inside, or that he would like to be an indoor-outdoor cat. But I don't know why. I'm always looking for something to make it better. But that does make me feel a little bit better, because there was part of me that was worried that he was like hot outside or just didn't like to be outside. But seeing him kind of panic inside and run for the door, and then he was very happy. I left the door open and he didn't come back in. So I think that he probably would be more comfortable outside. So my thing in my heart where I'm like, I must take this cat and save him and give him a home, is probably being a little bit dramatic, which is good because I can't save him and give him a home right now anyway. And so that is just an update that makes me feel a little bit better. Okay. Hello friends, how are you? I am back again and I hope this angle's okay. My tripod broke, so I have to just set it up as best as I can. I wanted to come back to talk to you about the nomadic lifestyle and how that kind of reworks the human brain. I have been living that sort of nomadic lifestyle for the past, oh gosh, I think over 6 years now. And it is very interesting because once you start moving as an animal, it is very difficult to stop. Unless you are brought to a stop. And I spent the last 15 months prior to this chapter staying with my mom for a little while, and my brain was in a different mode. It was in like safety mode because I knew that for the foreseeable future, I wasn't going to have to move. And it reminded me of how I used to be when I lived in my house. And now that I'm back on basically the streets, living month to month in rentals, my brain is in that nomad mode. And it is a very interesting place to be because you really cannot stop because no place is your own. I was able to keep renting the first Airbnb that I was in easily, kind of just like I've gotten to this flow of it because I was working on the book. And that was what I was focused on then. And I was just getting to the end of the month, hoping that the room would be there, paying for it and going. And the plan came up. I really hoped that once I finished the book, I was going to get to go back to California, but I'm just really not ready to make that long drive. I know that sounds like lame, like I should just do it. But I'm just not ready to do that. Clementine doesn't like to make even short drives, and I just wasn't ready to do it yet. So I waited on this house and then lost it and then had to go get a house that's not as nice. And that kind of thing happens. Like sometimes, just like in the book that I read, I had a slight upgrade for a little while and it was kind of like being in this house. And then I slid all the way back down to where I started. And for me, I feel like going to this new Airbnb is like sliding back down because it's not even as nice as the first place. But hopefully it won't be for very long and something will present itself. And I'm just the type of person where if anything presented itself, I would take the opportunity. Even if the opportunity for a 40-hour work week job presented itself, that's not what I'm into. But I know that every time one of those has presented itself to me, it's been the perfect job. Every time I've taken those positions, it's been blessed. And every time I've worked freelance, it's been blessed. And every time I've gotten large chunks of money, it's been blessed. So I know that that part, when you make peace with the maker and God, one of the easiest things to do is to deal with money and like trappings of the world, like clothing and things like that. The procurement of a home is very, very difficult, but it's all just part of the game when you think of it like that. So I just wanted to talk about that because, my brain is back into go mode and it's I don't like this mode at all. I like safety mode. And I'd really like to get back to it. And there's a part of me that is already there in safety mode. There's a part of me that's always in safety mode because I'm always being protected. But there's a part of me, I guess because I'm so close, that is like already home. And I can feel that energy and it's helping me to get there. Because I know that I'm that close. All right, so that is that for now. Hello, friends. How are you today? I'm back again to talk more about the move. And I am actually happy to document this part of the journey because this is kind of like a less stressful version of when I lived in my car, because this kind of chaos was an everyday thing. When Clementine and I lived in the car, it was constantly moving and constantly worrying about shelter. It was like worrying about shelter from place to place rather than month to month, like finding somewhat shelter in the place where we slept at night and then trying to shelter outside of the sun during the daylight hours and then trying to find another place to sleep at night or, making sure that the place is secure every single night. So that was very difficult. One thing that humans crave is routine. So it is very imperative for me to keep my routine up. And part of my daily routine is the gym. And so it's always been very, very important to me to have a gym really close by. And this will be the first time that the gym is really far away. It's really funny because both of the gyms that I went to before, the gym that I went to when I lived at my mom's house and the gym that I have been going to for the last 4 months here, are the closest gyms to me, but they are 5 and 6 miles away now instead of like 3 or 1 to 3 miles away, which is wild. So that's a change. And there are no stores by this place, and there is really not much going on over there. It's a residential area. I don't even know how I picked this place. It's really funny. I'm always messing up the numbers on the chapters. Well, I do that with numbers all the time. And I thought that I had till the 31st of this month to figure out where to go. And that's funny because there are only 30 days in June. And I was just bopping along, not paying attention. I honestly didn't even know what day it was at all. And I walked outside to walk Clementine at night, which I never do. And the landlord happened to say, "Hey, are you ready to move out on the 30th?" And I was like, sure. I didn't even let on that I had no idea what he was talking about. And when I came back in the house, I looked at the phone and it said checking out on the 30th. And I was like, how do I not have until the 31st? And then I looked at the calendar and there is no 31st. And I was frantic. And so I'm looking at all these Airbnbs and all of them were downtown. And this was the only one that was in like a residential area. And so I just picked it. And I've mentioned this before about like going to stores where I get overstimulated. When you're looking at Airbnbs and stuff, they all start to bleed into each other. And so I really thought that this place that I was booking had a lot more amenities. I never would have booked a place that didn't have a kitchen. It has a refrigerator in a single room, hold on. Sorry, Clementine had to go to the restroom. It is just a refrigerator. It doesn't even matter. I could go into the details, but it is not at all what I wanted or what I need, but it is what I picked. And that is just how my life goes. I try to do the best that I can with each situation. The last few months, what happened was I ended up booking my place really early and then ruining the rest of my time because it was just the countdown to the end of the time that I booked. And so this time around, I wanted to just enjoy my time in the place and then save all the stress of booking the next month. And so I tried to do that. So anyway, long story short, I'm saying all that to say, the Spirit moved me. So I constantly make that statement that the Spirit moves me. This is an example of how I did the best that I could. I'm trying, and I really I'm trying to do. I can't even explain it. Whoa. I feel like I don't even know why I'm mentioning this, but I feel like it's because I should have done more. I feel like I could have done more, but I did the best that I could. Hello, friends. Okay, so I am back from a little walk with Clementine, and I feel like I am better able to articulate what I was trying to say earlier. I am always assessing myself at the end of these chapters and journeys, and I always do feel like I could have done better. However, I have been able to write down all of my journeys in a book, and looking back on the book, I ended up being very proud of myself. So I guess this is one of those moments where I have to remember to be present and be proud of myself now. Because the version of myself that will be looking back on me is definitely proud of me. And the past version of me is as well. And let that be a lesson to any of you going through some struggles. You usually look back on the version of you that was doing it, and you remember how great you did. The struggle falls, and the struggle is really what brings us down. It is not ourselves. Ourselves are what lifts us up during that struggle, and that is the triumph of the human spirit. So, hello friends. Okay, so we made it to the next Airbnb, and I'll give you a quick tour of the whole thing. Ta-da! There's the kitchen, and that's it. This is definitely as nice, if not nicer, than the first place I was at. It's just a lot smaller. There's no kitchen, there's no living room. but it's in a really, really cool neighborhood. And it's nestled at the foot of the mountains. It's in a really, really pretty neighborhood, except there is an evil lurking right outside the door. I will insert a clip of the evil in question. There is no reason for those towers to be in a residential neighborhood. They shouldn't be anywhere near people at all. They are nuclear warheads. They give off a tremendous amount of electromagnetic energy, and it is very damaging to the human system, particularly my system. I've been doing better with them now that I'm inside, but when I was outside and surrounded by them, it was horrendous. And they are as bad as cigarettes or putting a cell phone near your head. They're worse. They should not be built over people at all. They should not be over a business. They should not be in a residential area. They should not be in a schoolyard. In Orange County, they have them in almost every high school football field. I've seen them on top of preschools and daycare centers. What are you trying to do putting a 5G tower on top of a daycare center? I mean, you know what it does, right? It's electromagnetic energy. So why would you want to have that in your school children? It's ridiculous. Anyway, other than that, it's a really beautiful neighborhood. It's really, really far from everything. It reminds me of the neighborhood that I used to live in, which is really cool. And I will insert another clip of what was happening with my car on the way here. So we are on our way to the next location, and I hope you can see this. It says safety and driver support systems disabled, excessive camera temperature. That is how hot it is in Las Vegas. This is so funny because this is exactly what it was like every single day when Clementine and I lived in the car, because my car had the check engine light on. There was always some oil light or something lighting up like a Christmas tree on my dashboard. It was hot, it was sweaty, it was frantic. That's how I felt when we got in the car. It was hot. Clementine was a little panicked because of the weather. The dashboard is lighting up. I have all this stuff packed in the car. I'm trying to get from one location to another. It was really deja vu. And I guess part of the reason for this little endeavor is to show, maybe on camera, exactly a little hint of what my life was like for the 5 years that I was in the car. Because when that light came on the dashboard, I was just like, is this a joke? Because that's the problem I used to have every single time. It would be Clementine and I stuffed into the front seat, all our crap in the back seat, and the lights on the thing telling me that the car is falling apart. That was it. Wow, that's so funny. Anyway, so we're safe now and cool. This time around, I'm going to have to wait until it gets dark to pull out my stuff. I say that and then I keep going out there and pulling stuff one at a time. But it is unbelievably hot. It's like 108 degrees. So I have to at least chill for a little while. But this is a really beautiful neighborhood for Clement and I to take a walk in. And it's a little farther, but it's basically the same gym. But now I have actually a choice of 2 gyms, which is pretty cool. So that is all for now.